James Lupton with John Collier ahead of your BKB debut September 3rd. John,
Hello, mate.
how's camp been?
Not so bad, mate. Not so bad at all. Trained hard. Trained very hard for this. With it being my debut on the 3rd of September at the O2, I've took it much more serious than I normally would do, to be honest, because it's an unknown quantity. You know what I mean? It's not so much fear of the unknown because it makes it sound like you're nervous or anxious, but it's the fear of the unknown. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what you're walking into, so you've got to be ready for anything. So I'm preparing as if I'm fighting Usyk, which I wouldn't like to do, by the way. But there you go.
Obviously, your debut, you mentioned the O2 Arena.
Yep.
Couldn't really get much of a bigger platform than that. How's it feel to have your debut there?
It feels good. It feels really good. It feels good to be on a big stage. It's a stacked card as well. You got Jones v Sweeney, you got Podmore v Barry, you got McHugh in the Lafferty rematch. It's a massive card. It's going to get a lot of attention all around the world, basically, because it's obviously on Fight TV, beIN Sports, Virgin. It's everywhere. So it's a good card to make my debut on, and it's a good card to kick me up the arse to train hard and put in a good performance. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be lackluster when the world is watching on. So hopefully.
Definitely. I mean, talk to me a little bit about your journey through boxing, first of all.
So I started boxing when I was about 12, and then I kept going back to it on and off. And obviously, as you get to your teens, girls get involved and you start messing with a bit of drugs and a bit of smoking and a bit of drinking and all that. I didn't start taking it. I always had a punch bag up in the garage, always. So I was always knocking about on bags, always doing the pads with the lads and stuff. But I really knuckled down and started taking it seriously quite late, really. I was about 25. I didn't have my first fight till I was about 26, 27 maybe even. So I just kind of, my life then became boxing. If I wasn't watching it, I was out running. If I wasn't out running, I was in the bag, in the garage. I was hitting the pads with the lads. I was just became obsessed with it for a long time. And that's because I knew I had a lot of catching up to do. Do you know what I mean? I knew, right, I've not had an amateur pedigree. I've not had any kind of background in it where I've been surrounded by it like a gym rat, so to speak. So I knew I had a lot of catching up to do. So I just became obsessed with it for years and years on end. Started fighting, and then I know you obviously hear it a lot, especially being a boxing reporter, you hear it a lot, but it's like, it's a drug. Do you know what I mean? It's like, right, I've got to get in there and do it again. I got in. Even when you lose, even when you win, even when you get robbed, even when you draw, whatever, you just like, I just want to fight. I just love fighting. Do you know what I mean? That's where it came from, really. That's where the love of fighting came from.
You took a little time away from the ring. You've done a little bit of promoting on the unlicensed scene.
Yep.
Why did you want to get back into the ring yourself to compete?
I retired in February 2020, probably 14, 20 days before lockdown, and we were lucky that show went ahead. That was at the stage where we were hand sanitizer and face wipes were all over the tables. Do you know what I mean? We was at that kind of pre-COVID stroke in COVID kind of stage. Had what I believe to be my last fight then, fought really well, got the win and all that, and then as COVID ended, I got into a bit of promoting, which I still do now. Excuse me, still do now. And then I was with Dan McGraffin. He won his world title at the O2, and I thought, not to say egotistical or narcissistic, but I thought I want to put myself on a big stage, just once, even if it's just once, just to see, am I good enough at this level? So I contacted Jim and Joe, who own BKB, who run it and matchmaking, promote it, blah blah blah, and they said, right, I'll get you on. I think I got a bit of a leg up having Dan's name attached to me, do you know what I mean, with him being world champion and everything. But yeah, they said, right, 3rd of September you're on, let's get this party started, as the Black Eyed Peas once said.
Obviously, like you say, Dan, you've been coaching Dan. Is it different in camp now, because you're still trying to coach Dan but also train for yourself in your own camp as well?
It's a little bit different, but I've kind of compartmentalised and separated the two a little bit. But we've also amalgamated it together because we've got each other as sparring partners. He's 10, 15 kilos heavier than me. So if I've got 10, 15 kilos heavier leaning on me, mauling and grabbing hold of me and ripping shots and stuff like that, it's going to serve me very well when I get in with someone there who's my weight. So we've mixed it up and we've separated it as well. We have that's Dan's session, say at 10 a.m. and I'll nip home and have my dinner, and at 1 o'clock I'm back in the gym to train for me. So we have managed to mix it up and separate it as well at the same time, so it's all right.
Now, come fight night, are you still going to be able to separate the two? Are you going to be in with Dan when he's in the ring? What's the situation there?
Well, I'll be on first, I'll be on early, because obviously Dan's world champion, so he'll be on top of the bill, so to speak, near the top end of the bill. And the plan is, to be brutally honest, as long as I don't take too much punishment in my fight, I'll be in his corner. But we do have another lad, Sam Lambert, who's texts on pads, and like, he runs our camp really. So he texts on pads, he'll be... He's not so much on reserve because he's going to be in my corner regardless, because Dan's going to try and stay emotionally separated from my fight. If anything happens that I don't win, we don't want to carry that into Dan's fight. Do you know what I mean? We don't carry that negativity into Dan's fight. But we've got Sam with us anyway, so Sam's a fantastic cornerman. He's been with me for years, so we have got a backup plan, so to speak. But I'm hoping to be there. I'm hoping not to take too much punishment. It's only a cut. It'll be all right.
What's the plan, career-wise, in BKB for yourself?
I want to go as far as I possibly can. I want to see how good I really am, because there's some really good lads knocking about in BKB at the minute. But I see them and I think, there's chinks in your armour that I, with my experience, can capitalise on and utilise it to my advantage. Do you know what I mean? But who was it? Was it Ali who once said it about dancing under the lights? And he said it's all right doing it in the gym. He said you can dance under the lights and do it. But genuinely, I know it's an age-old cliche in boxing interviews. I feel great. Everything has gone spot on. Little niggle in my back. Other than that, I'm all good. My hands are good. I've had no cuts. I've had nothing. I feel great. I genuinely feel great.
Well, John, wish you all the best. We're going to get in the gym, get some footage of your training, some footage of your sparring, and all the best for September 3rd.
Nice one, James. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
Nice one, John.